Hello guys, here is my tutorial video of making a UI, creating a button and using that button to switch to a new scene. Um, First of all, I'm just quickly going to give you an overview of my interface or my UI or my screen, whatever you want to call it. First, top left, more or less big panel, I have my hierarchy. Next to it, I have my scene. Um, Then I have my game. It's useful. I find it useful to have game and scene active next to each other because whatever you do in your scene, if you don't see it in your game and you're supposed to, then you know you did something wrong. Easy as that. Sometimes, depending on the situation, I might mute or maximize on play. Yeah. Next to my inspector, I have my actions menu or actions browser. Is the correct term. And next to that, I have my inspector. Just a useful tip quickly, in your action browser, you probably won't have it open yet. I did one video when something went wrong. But if you click on the hourglass, I'll refer to it again. Select description. It allows you to get better or more results for what you're looking for instead of just under specific terms. For example, if you type load for load menu, you don't just get load here, you also get this thing, I don't know what it is, or that thing. And another thing, my project folders here, I created a folder for my scenes. It's a lot easier to navigate through everything if it's just in one folder or well named folders. And then I have my playmaker imported here below my scene and game. It's a nice big window. And also remember to save regularly period with Control S. I named my main scene main menu and the other and another scene other scene. Now to start off, go to your hierarchy, click on create and create a UI element. Under UI, create canvas. This is like a container for everything that you want to place on an interface or a UI for the user. For now, we are just creating a button. Um, if you right click on canvas, you can create, instead of on creating under hierarchy, you make a object as child of that object. Now on the UI, look for button, the fourth element from the top, and you create your button. You will see your button will appear in your inspector on the right, or wherever your inspector is. Just rename your button for convention's sake. Gonna call it to, last time I called it to our scene, I'm just making it switch scene button. And also the canvas, just call it main menu or something, or interface, UE, whatever you want to call it. It makes your life a lot easier if you give stuff names. Text I'm not going to rename because it's obvious, and this will be switch scene. I'll get to the button pressing event here later. For now, just moving the button up a bit and an anchor. This is mostly for to change the way the button will react in relation to the screen size. In other words, if the screen gets smaller, uh, where the button should be on the screen. It's more or less centered, I think. Doesn't look that centered. Okay, leave it. Um, Next, Control S. Um, Go to hierarchy, click on create an empty element. Create empty. Keep using element, the word elements. It's just create an empty. Call it UI manager or anything you want. Main menu, although you have, if you name this main menu, then you already have main menu. Manager is a descriptive word. UI, it's just indicator of what it's managing. I sometimes, or for my traffic light project, I actually use the main camera. But yeah, depends on what your programming style is. Just remember, if you're gonna do one thing specific, then keep that programming style throughout with all your projects. Will make your life easier and other people that has worked with you and working with you. Don't call yourself A, B, C, D. That's the easiest way you're gonna get slapped. UI manager, just in Playmaker. Sorry if I travel a bit. In Playmaker, control click just to add a start FSM state machine, finite state machine. Um, you can't use anything else here without a start, which is quite stupid. But and you can't have start, or you can't have add any other type of states without a start, and you can't delete start state. But if it does nothing, it's not gonna kill anyone. Just there. Next, in your UI manager, in Playmaker, go to events. Here's events. Then click on this text box. And here you will define event, or the thing that gets called or sent or initiated to switch your scene or whatever other events you want in your game. Here it's this event should specifically switch your scene. So I'm going to call it to describe what the action is, and our scene, which is our scene is my name here. It's the name of my our scene. Well, our scene's name is our scene. Then you press enter. Next to once you create the event, you get this checkbox or this box that's empty and the name to our, I spelled it wrong, damn it, my bad, to our scene, sorry about that. Um, this checkbox, if you hover over it, you can see in the tooltip what its function is. It makes the event global. Just click it. I already did this once, so I won't get that weird pop-up, but just click OK. Mainly it just says this event can be accessed by anything in your scene and probably in other scenes, which is why it's called a global event. Then under your UI manager, um, where you are right now, so don't switch anything. In the Playmaker here, just control click again, and you will create another state. You can call this state, this state specifically is going to be responsible for switching scenes. So I'm going to call it switch scene. But with the state just hovering over here, it can't really, it won't do anything actually. It won't do anything at all. It won't receive anything, it won't get anything, it won't do anything. That's why you right click it and hover over Add Global Transition. Then you will see the global event you recently created for 2 hour scene. If you click it, then it will appear above it. It's like another type of start. Whenever this starts gets executed, this states will run. Now for the switching scene, you need an action. Um, you need to add an action because something has to happen. So you open your action browser if it's not open yet. Preferably, I place mine here because it's convenient. Um, search for, or I'm gonna uh, refer to this again. On my hourglass, just click on description. It makes finding stuff a lot easier to some extent. Load level. If you don't load level's exact name, and this is the event that you will get, and probably that one as well. If you press enter or double click it, I'm gonna double click it this time. You add the event. Enter is kind of safer because you don't add multiples by accident. It will appear red. Okay, that happens automatically. This here, it says this error is because something that is needed, you need it, you can't, um, yeah, it's something that can't be empty. Level name. Under load level, you add the level name that you want to load. In my case, I'm on main menu right now. I'm calling scene. That's, I hate it when it does that. It moves away from whatever. Our scene. This means that whenever 2 hour scene gets called or this event gets sent to UI manager that says 2 hour scene, this state will execute, and this state will do this action, which is load level 2 hour or hour scene. But if you just play the thing, I'm not going to do it now, and just click the button, you will see it won't work. The reason for that is because you haven't given the button its instructions yet. So if I go to switch scene button, I don't know why that thing is up, but anyway, yeah, it's not bad. The on-click event. This is basically every time this button gets clicked, clicky, 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 this whatever's in this block will happen. So we add another thing and something to happen. You can't add a function without a receiver, and that's why you select this none object, specifically this dot. If you select it, your scene gets opened. If yours is like this, just go to the slider thingy, make it smaller. Most of your things would be like smaller. It's a lot easier to find stuff when it's just a list. Unless all your stuff are named more or less the same, you're gonna struggle. This button has to send an event to something. You can't send it to, for example, the light or the event system because they won't know what to do with our specific event. But we've just created a UI manager and told them what to do with our specific event that we want to send. Or we created an event for him and what it should do when it receives that event. So you select UI manager, you can click it, you can double click it, or you can just click it and press this close button. I'm just saving again. Now you see this It's no longer grayed out and you can use it. Click on a function. If you haven't imported Playmaker or you haven't created any FSM like a start FSM or whatever in any object, this Playmaker FSM won't pop up here. I had a heart attack once when that happened. Now, you're not editing the game object itself. You're not. It has sent message, but our object won't know what to do with the message. That's why we can't send it just a message, because we created an event, not a message or a string. And transform also has not what we're looking for. Playmaker FSM. Under Playmaker, you have the option to send an event. We also have send string, but we don't want that. We want send event. And if you get confused by the string in the brackets, mainly what it means in programming terms is this send event function requires a string that it sends to any object you select, and that string will be translated into an event or something that that object can understand and will execute as an event. That's why it's called send event. If you click it, you get a new little box to add stuff in. Here, I'm gonna stress, I say it a lot of times in the chat, but I also can say it again here and probably in every video. Caps sensitive. If you type something in a specific manner, type it the same way everywhere. Otherwise, stuff won't work. It's the same way when you do pure programming. If you name a variable color, all small letters with OU in the middle and not just the American way. If you anywhere in your program you use the American spelling instead of English or UK spelling, whatever correct term, whatever, the program or whatever that part won't work because it won't receive it. Computers are specific. If you tell it to do something, you can't have typos. Okay, the event we want to send is, I just can't remember what it was, too much talking, to our scene. That's the event. It will see if it's an event, but we send a string value that it will pick up as an event. So it to our scene. That's the event. Whenever this button gets clicky, Playmaker or this, actually, yeah, whenever button gets clicky, UI Manager will receive an event called to our scene. And now UI Manager, you see it has the event to our scene, and this event executes this state, which does this action, which is load level our scene. Now, something important to do, it's probably done already now, but I'm going to show it to you. Go to File. It's important because if you don't do this, your scenes won't switch at all. It won't. You probably won't get an error, but nothing will work the way you want it to. If you click on File, Build Settings. So as a Control-Shift-B, but I don't use that shortcut. I do it the manual way. Just cheating a bit, removing them. I'm currently in my main menu. You click on Add Open Scene. Just taking a sip of water. Click on Add Open Scene. That will add your currently open scene, which is the main menu, to your project in general. It allows you to link different scenes in your project to each other, so they can pick each other up. Now, don't do anything below this part. Don't mess with the web player or change the platform or do any player settings. That's usually controls. And don't build and run it. I haven't done it yet, but it's probably to make it a standalone, like, yeah, or web player or whatever. Just click on the crossing, clicky clicky. Now I go to my other scene. I already created it, um, but if I go into it, I just quickly made a scene with a plane and a floaty cube. The cube does nothing, the plane does nothing. It's just a blank scene that shows you the scene switched. Basically, just if you see this box, then you know the scene has switched and your thing works. Or if you have I'm linking a main menu to a traffic light, you will see the traffic light scene when you click on the button. Now, on this side, you don't have to do much unless you want a button from this side to link to the main menu, because then you just do exactly the same thing you did on the main menu. But in order for your main menu to be able to switch to the scene, it needs to recognize the scene. In other words, go to File, Build Settings, and then add the open scene. As you can see, I added a folder for all my scenes to make it easier to navigate through my scenes. And then main menu is added to the project and other scene is added to the project. Even though things are in your folders, if they're not in this build, then other scenes won't pick each other up at all. Just click the crossy, Control S to save. Now if I go to main menu, because I hate this zooming in crap. Because the main menu, the UI element has a button and it's a UI element, which means the user can interact with it. And the button itself sends an event to my UI manager, and the UI manager receives the event and loads the next scene. When I press play and click the button, it should load the next scene. When it's done loading, if you watch there, it should turn blue, and it turned blue. And if you have your FSM open, it's also nice because you can see where your program is at. So if I click that button, you see this cube, which means my switching worked. Just to recap, the main menu has a button. That button sends a event to our scene, case sensitive, cap sensitive, everything sensitive, to UI manager, which is an object we created. This UI manager has a global event called to our scene, and this global event receives the event to our scene, and its name of course, and then it executes the state. This blocks are called states, and this state has the action to load level and other scene. For other things here, additive and things, it's not necessarily, but just other stuff depending on what situations you want. Just add the name there. And this concludes the tutorial for creating a menu, adding a button, and switching the scene with the button click. Thank you for listening. If you have any other queries, just post them on a group. I'll help you. I'll gladly help you. If there's any uncertainties, just talk to me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Good luck. Open, open, open.